What's up, YouTube family? Coming at you today with some detailed information about Star Wars Battlefront's first expansion pack, the Outer Rim. We know the hero, we know the villain, we know the maps we're getting, the weapons, the star cards, and we've got a few images to go along with those things as well. But before we get into that stuff, I just want to lay out Star Wars Battlefront's basic DLC plan. If you don't know it already, they're planning on adding 16 total maps and 8 total heroes across 4 expansion packs. That's 4 maps and 2 hero class characters per expansion pack. Which brings us to the first topic I'd like to discuss, the heroes and villains we'll be getting in this expansion pack, Nien Nunb and Greedo, the Rebellion and Imperial heroes respectively. I have to say, I did not expect that we'd be getting Greedo and Nien Nunb as our new Battlefront heroes. When I first saw the concept art for Outer Rim, I assumed that they were just placeholders, seeing as both the characters and the respective races are synonymous with the planets Sullust and Tatooine. I figured that they were just the perfect placeholders and that they didn't want to reveal the actual heroes yet. But these are the heroes we're getting, and I guess it does kind of make sense that we would be getting heroes that resonate more in popular culture. I mean, Greedo is pretty damn well known. They both had lines. Nien Nunb helped in the destruction of 2 Death Stars, so I guess it makes more sense to add these heroes than adding some characters from the random lineup of bounty hunters that didn't have any lines, like IG-88, Dengar, Bosk, even though it would be cool. I mean, IG-88 is one of my favorite characters of all time. I just think he's a scary guy. He's a murder bot. He's a scary guy. He's a murderer. However, just because we're getting Nien Nunb and Greedo doesn't mean we won't get other characters in the future. DICE himself said the inclusion of some does not automatically mean the exclusion of others. Regardless, Nien Nunb and Greedo take up 2 slots of the 8 total heroes we'll be getting over the course of the 4 expansion packs. So we've still got 3 heroes and 3 villains left. I have a feeling we're going to be getting Lando Calrissian inside of the Bespin DLC. That makes more sense. And old Ben Kenobi inside of the Death Star DLC. And I believe that Chewie is actually going to be free DLC at some point, simply because the 4th expansion pack is still unannounced, and I have a feeling it's unannounced because it's actually going to be a tie-in with the movie Rogue One. As for our 3 villains, I have no idea. We're probably going to get Grand Moff Tarkin inside of the Death Star DLC. As for the other 2, maybe they'll be the random bodyguards. I'm not sure. If you guys have any idea what the villains are going to be in Star Wars Battlefront's future expansion packs, leave a comment below, because I'm curious what you guys think. Regardless, let's talk about what type of heroes Greedo and Nien Nunb are going to be. Play as iconic heroes. New playable hero characters will have you shooting first with Greedo, or targeting foes with precision as Nien Nunb. I really appreciate that little joke that they threw in there to egg on Star Wars fans. Have Greedo shoot first. Huh. Nice little George Lucas edit to whoever wrote that description. Anyway, it looks like Greedo is going to be a Han Solo type of character, which is pretty cool because I'd love to see him go toe-to-toe with Han Solo. And I'm expecting to see some sort of special animation in terms of when they actually duel, something akin to how Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader have their lightsaber duels. He's also getting a hero version of the DT-12 Heavy Blaster pistol, similar to how Boba Fett has a hero version of the WE-3 blaster rifle, and your regular foot soldiers can unlock and use that WE-3 as well. Interesting to note that the DT-12 was an expensive blaster, so I'm guessing that this DT-12 will be unlockable around the rank of 60, at least between 50 and 60, because the level cap, as you guys know, is being raised to 60 with this DLC, so I'm assuming that this DT-12, being an expensive blaster in the Star Wars lore, is going to be a bit of an expensive blaster and a bit difficult to get inside of the Outer Rim DLC, which I appreciate, and I hope that's the case. As for his abilities, I'm not sure. It says new playable hero characters will have you shooting first with Greedo. That might not be a joke. It could be his actual attack, similar to how Vader has his Force Choke, and that Force Choke locks onto someone and kills a single soldier. I could see this attack where you press the button, and then if an enemy comes into range, Greedo will shoot first and kill them with great speed and ease. And it wouldn't be OP because, like Vader's Force Choke, it just garners you a single kill. Moving on to Nien Nunb, the Sullust Rebellion hero. It looks like he's going to be sporting a souped-up pulse cannon, and it seems like he's going to be a bit of a sniper hero. It says, targeting foes with precision as Nien Nunb. That's a very interesting word they decided to use, seeing as the other 2 weapons that are new to this expansion pack are the Railby V10 rifle, which is basically a mini grenade launcher. It's Bosk's signature gun. And they also are adding a scattergun, which is basically a shotgun. Now this could either be a kinetic shotgun or a blaster shotgun. There's two different types of shotguns in Star Wars lore that go by the same title, so we'll see which one it is. Regardless, neither of these are really precision weapons, I would say. It's more likely that we get the Relby V10 rifle, which is also kind of considered a mortar gun, not just a little grenade launcher. And maybe you'll have a souped up version of that, which is precision mortar. It's also possible, seeing as he's a pilot, that he is also given the DT-12 blaster pistol, as pilots usually come equipped with a pistol. The weapons we'll be getting in the Outer Rim are a pistol, a mini grenade launcher, a shotgun, and a gas grenade along with some adrenaline stim star cards. Now, the mini grenade launcher is the Relby V10 rifle, which is also Bossk's signature rifle. It's also called the mortar gun. It looks like we'll be getting a hero version of this rifle with Nien Nunb. I don't know if it's a primary blaster though. Well, obviously it's not a blaster. I think this Relby V10 grenade launcher is actually a star card because I can't picture widespread usage of this as a primary. Imagine 10 people running around with mortar launchers in Walker Assault. That would just be absolute chaos. This has to be a star card. It looks like Nien Nunb will also be using this as an ability instead of his primary weapon because we don't see him holding it. We see him holding a pulse rifle, and apparently it's supposed to be a sniper hero. So I'm pretty sure the Relby V10 rifle is going to be a star card. Next up, we have the DT-12 heavy blaster pistol. This is, of course, Greedo's signature pistol, so we'll be getting a hero version of it and a regular version, similar to how Boba Fett's EE-3 rifle works. I'm assuming the fire rate's going to be slow while still packing a punch, seeing as it is a heavy blaster pistol. It's probably going to be a cross between a DL-44 and a scout pistol, which does sound like a very potent combination indeed. I assume the range is going to be extremely limited, seeing as how small the actual pistol itself is. The lore of this gun is that it's expensive, which makes me believe that it's going to be between the ranks of 50 and 60 that you need to be to unlock it, and it's probably going to cost you a few credits, so you'd better start fighting. Moving on to the third weapon of the Outer Rim DLC, the shotgun, and that's pretty much all we know about it. We don't know if it's kinetic, we don't know if it's an energy weapon, all we know is that it's called the scattergun, with a space. There's two types of scatterguns in the Star Wars universe, one with a space between scatter and gun and one without. The one with a space is a projectile firing slug thrower. And the one without a space is also known as a scatter blaster, and that's an energy weapon. So I'm being led to believe, since they have a space, that this is going to be a slug thrower. It's going to be our first kinetic weapon aside from that sniper rifle, whatever it is. I can't remember the name of it. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Massive, what does it matter if it's kinetic or not? Who cares? It's a new gun. The reason I care, the reason I'm wondering if it's a scattergun or if it's a scattergun, brilliant naming by the way, is because if it's the kinetic weapon, I doubt it's going to be a primary blaster, but if it's a energy weapon, it's probably going to be a primary blaster, similar to the CA-87 Jawa shotgun. If it's a kinetic rifle, if it really is a slug thrower, it's probably going to be another star card. So it looks like we might be getting two star cards, the grenade launcher and the scattergun, possibly, and one primary, the heavy pistol. But who knows, all of them could be primaries. We don't know what they're going to be. We're also getting a new throwable star card, Dioxis Grenades. Dioxis is a toxic gas that was actually used by the Trade Federation and the Confederacy. It's the same toxic gas that Nute Gunray tried to use to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn upon the Trade Federation vessel. It's going to deal damage over time. Upon impact, it's going to deploy an airborne chemical agent that's eventually going to incapacitate targets. It's going to look like the smoke grenade, but it's going to slowly kill people while they're inside of it. This will be especially handy in forcing an enemy's hand, or blocking their exit, funneling them for an ambush, whatever. Adrenaline star cards, what are these? Sprinting is unlimited, so it has nothing to do with your sprinting. Maybe it could increase movement speed. I doubt it's going to increase movement speed simply because that would change the entire meta of the game practically. My guess is that adrenaline stim star cards are going to increase the rate temporarily at which you regen charge cards and other star cards. It's safe to assume that all these weapons and star cards in this DLC are going to be unlockable after the rank of 50, seeing as this DLC raises the level cap from 50 to 60, so it makes sense that they just utilize that. Moving on to the maps, we've got 4 maps coming per expansion pack, as you guys know. The only thing that's confusing me is I don't think that they're including Fighter Squadron maps in those numbers, because it looks like we're going to get 2 maps on Sullust and 2 maps on Tatooine that are all ground. Yet, I'm almost positive that every single expansion pack is going to come with Fighter Squadron maps, so what's weird is that they don't count the Fighter Squadron maps as maps inside of the map count. Regardless, let's talk about the maps that we have information on. Starting with Sullust, we have a smelting factory map. I'm guessing this is going to be the CQC maps for heroes versus villains, hero hunts, blast, droid run, stuff like that, cargo, and then we have the industrial pipes and platforms of Sullust. This is a very exciting map that kind of reminds me of Mustafar. More lava, less lava rock. You got big flowing rivers of lava. This is going to be a gorgeous map. I really hope that there's a nighttime variant of it for Supremacy or something like that, because that would be absolutely gorgeous. What I really want is the Walker Assault map to be a nighttime map and have lights on the walkers, because there are lights on 8C Imperial walkers, and I think those lights are very intimidating. As for Tatooine, we have Jabba's throne room and the sail barge garage in Tatooine. Jabba's throne room sounds like a CQC map, and it's interesting because I believe it's going to take place mostly indoors. I think there's going to be a lot of narrow corridors and trap doors in Jabba's palace that we'll be able to fight through, and I am excited by that prospect. I think that's a really fun prospect. I would like some more urban warfare inside of Star Wars Battlefront. And then we have the Sail Barge Garage on Tatooine, which is our large-scale map. You're going to see this in Supremacy, Turning Point, Walker Assault, stuff like that. Interesting that they didn't find a way to shoehorn in a map that is taking place solely on the barge. But I can't wait to see this map in action, because it looks like it's going to be absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. I can't wait to see the barge up close, and it looks like this is going to be humongous. I mean, the size and scope of Jabba's palace is really going to be in effect here. Which brings us to our new game mode, because it looks like this map is practically made for it. The new game mode is Extraction. Rebel forces have entered some of the most dangerous places in the Outer Rim in order to extract a valuable shipment of resources. Now they must bring their shipment to the transport ship before time runs out. The Empire has arrived to stop them from reaching the extraction point. This game mode kind of sounds similar to Payload from Team Fortress 2 or Safeguard from Black Ops 3, which is basically one team taking their objective from point A through point B through point C all the way to point D, while the opposite team tries to stop them from doing so. Basically a big bad capture the flag. Both the price and release date of the Outer Rim expansion pack remain unannounced. However, EA did state that the expansion pack would be released after March's free map update Survivors of Endor, so it looks like we're going to get this expansion pack towards the end of March. As for the price, my guess is it would be the same as Battlefield 4, $15 per expansion pack. Again, I don't know what it's going to be, it hasn't been announced yet, but the season pass is $50. If each expansion pack was $15, then it would be $60, a savings of $10 if you buy the season pass. But if you guys are on the fence, you might want to wait, because if you just would want 3 out of the 4 expansion packs, you'd be saving money by buying those 3 separately, instead of buying all 4 in the season pass if you truly did not want one of the expansion packs. I will be covering all expansion packs extensively, along with my regular vanilla, along with free DLC coverage. So if you guys found this video helpful or entertaining, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to join our massive family. We do daily live streams, pretty much daily. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us for this Star Wars Battlefront video. And as always, may the Force be with you.